Let me talk about another frequency on there, which is channel 6, which talks about ships traffic and car to or vessel to vessel radio traffic. A number of years ago on our journey from Keystone to Port Townsend, we were delayed by weather conditions because the waters were too foggy. We got impatient and we left. And it wasn't until we got halfway out there, we didn't know which way we were going because we did not have any GPS, we did not have any compass. The best guess was that the tide was drifting us towards Indian Island, which it did eventually. But what also occurred is that we were in the ship's traffic at Admiralty Inlet, where commercial traffic coming out of Seattle, out in the Strait of Juan de Fuca, was traveling in. These vessels cannot stop soon enough. They can go as far as 8 miles trying to stop before they become dead in the water or still or stopped. 8 miles. And a lot of times in that fog, when we looked up, it was only a matter of 100 yards or so that we were able to see in. Little did we realize that we were in a lot of jeopardy. In monitoring the radio traffic, we heard a signal go out saying, "Pond, pond, pond, pond." Vessels traffic along Admiralty Inlet. Be advised, we have small craft in your vicinity. And they gave instructions for them to post lookouts on the bows of the vessels in order to look for us and hopefully wouldn't run over us. But in listening to this traffic, I didn't realize they were talking about us and what a dangerous situation we had placed ourselves in. Having the necessity of these radios, the GPS, and other items will help us in the future and even this next coming journey to keep us safe and out of trouble. In most cases, regular talking will suffice, but in this case, when we utilize this radio to talk with the Coast Guard, we have specific language with which to utilize. Take, for example, an emergency transmission. Most of you have heard the call, "Mayday, Mayday." This is one of the first words that you're going to use to formulate your first initial response to the Coast Guard for assistance. Initially starting this, you will say, "Mayday, Mayday. Canoe requesting assistance in the water." And that's all you need to say at that point, because what you're trying to do at this point is get the attention of Coast Guard radio. If you're off of Port Townsend, then Port Angeles is the one that will answer, or Seattle. They'll come on the radio and say, "Vessel requesting assistance" or "Mayday call, please identify." And you'll provide the information that you're a canoe on a canoe journey, that you're capsized or overturned in rough water conditions, and you need assistance. This is when your knowledge of the area, or better yet, if you're able to get a GPS reading, latitude, longitude, that they're going to ask for in order to get the help to you as soon as possible. In most cases, they will send a helicopter to verify your position and a search vessel either from Port Townsend or Port Angeles to assist you. Other questions asked are, how many souls are there? And you will reply as to how many people there are in the water, and they'll ask for a condition. This condition is important because they're going to need to assess or assign the necessary assets from the Coast Guard stations to respond to your scene. Also will be a determination as to how soon of a response needs to be heading in your direction based upon your location and your situation. Others in the area, after you have talked to Coast Guard on this, Coast Guard will get back on the radio and issue an alert. And they will say, pon pon, pon pon. This is a Coast Guard alert notifying ship's traffic and the location. And they'll give the location, and they will ask other vessels to lend a hand or to lend assistance. And that's where the location is required, and that's where the location is needed, because they need to get a fixed position of where you're at in order to arrive there. When the situation is alleviated and it's all done, or they need to put out additional information, they will come back on the radio and say, security, security, security. This is Coast Guard Station, Port Angeles, or Seattle sector, with updated information or to advise boaters of hazards to navigation. Those are the responses. But remember, on utilizing the radio, what you want to do is get on there, notifying with the command of Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. This is canoe such and such in the water off a such and such station, or give a location, and they will respond back to you. And during this conversation, they will establish additional information. The main thing is to get your message out there so that they can acknowledge it, and afterwards they will start getting information from you.